Right, okay, so this video, as you can see from the title, it answers the live streaming solution. How to live stream to OBS from your Mackie DL. Well, I use the 32S. You can do the same from the 16. You should be able to do the same from the 32R. Not sure about the 1608s and the other versions, but if they're running Master Fader 5, these options should be the same. So as you can see, this is a standard OBS page. I am currently in studio mode. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the Mackie DL32, just so I can quickly run you through what's actually going on there. And you can have an idea of how to set your mixer up. That way, if you don't live stream to OBS and you live stream to a different platform, you can still use this video. It's still beneficial. You just need to find the options in your settings to pull the audio signal from a USB source, and within your USB drop down, as long as you have your digital mixer connected, your Mackie connected, you'll find the DL32S in there. Just to select it from there, and if you've done everything correctly in terms of your routing within Master Fader, you'll get all 32 channels, all the subgroups, everything, the VCAs, etc. You'll get that all on your live stream, and you can go post or pre-DSP, but I'll show you all of that in this video. We don't want to get it too ahead of ourselves. So generally, I'm currently live streaming on OBS as we speak, and this is not necessarily for live streaming. I mean, what I'm doing on this is I'm pre-recording the video, but the only difference, if you wanted to actually live stream to social media, is rather than hitting start or start recording, you can actually start the stream with the stream key, and I'll show you all of that in a moment. But let's work through this systematically, and we'll start off with Master Fader with the Mackie DL32. So assuming you've got your Mackie DL32, your Mackie mixer, digital mixer, whether it's 3216, 32R, or whatever, you've got your mixer, and you have the USB out, connected out of the mixer into your laptop. That's the first step. Okay, once that's been done, that's fine. You're good to go. Okay, now in terms of setting it up for it to work, the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to set up your routing. Now, how you do that is you come here to the what is this option called, by the way? I just call it the routing page. But obviously you've got your gain settings and stuff. But anyway, you come to the routing page, and you scroll across over to the USB. And when you get here, how Mackie have set this up, and most digital mixers, most manufacturers have done the same thing. The output from your USB cable is coming from USB channels 1 and 2, which are these two here. Now by default, and this is the same with most digital platforms, most digital mixers, I know this is true of PreSonus, I think it's true of Behringer as well, etc., is they always route mic pre and mic pre 1 and 2, on the mixer. So channels 1 and 2 on your mixer to USB 1 and 2, and those are the only two things you tend to hear out of your USB. And people always ask the question, well, how do I get more channels? And then you come to a routing page like this, and it's so confusing because you're trying to work out, okay, how do I get the other channels? I've got 1 and 2. How do I get the other channels? For those of you who play around, you'll realize that you can bring in other channels to USB 1 and 2 and they'll work, but you want multiple channels. You want to be able to send as many channels as is on the mixer across. And how you do that is, rather than routing an individual mic pre-channel to the USB, look at what I'm doing there. There we go. I'm using a mouse, and I think I slip of the finger. I've clicked and I've taken this off. What I've done here is I have routed aux 7 and 8. Now you can do this with any of your aux channels. With the DL32R, you should be able to do the same thing with your matrix channels, if I'm not mistaken. I've never used an R before, but I understand the R has matrix channels. And what you do is, what I've done here is, if I route auxiliary 7 and 8, USB 1 and 2 act as like a left and right. So if you plug into one side, that's the left, the other side's the right. So again, don't ask me why they've done it in such a confusing manner. I don't understand why. But all I know is USB 1 and 2 are the two channels that go out of your actual physical mixer. So when you plug something into that USB port, what's coming out of there is USB 1 and 2. So what we want to do is we want to send a full mix of as many channels and as many settings and options as we want out of USB 1 and 2, left and right, 1 and 2, into our out of the USB port into our laptop. So the first step is to route this way, and I've put 7 into 1 and 8 into 2, and then come out of the USB or the the routing page, okay? And then over here, what I've done is I've linked aux 7 and 8 together. Now the reason why I've done this is a lot of you are looking to send out a full complement. If you're just sort of live streaming and you've just got a mic, I guess you can get away with just sending one aux channel out and sending it across. But for many people, they're looking to send a full complement, like a full band or multiple items, and you want to be able to pan your signal left and right so that it can be clear. If it's multiple people speaking, again, that panning option is always very useful. So what you'd want to do is send out aux channel 7 and 8, and that way you can have as many options available for you with what you're sending out. And essentially what this does is, as you can see, I'm currently on mic channel 1. If I pan this to the left, you'll hear it on the left. If I pan this to the right, you'll hear it on the right. Let me just set that back to 0. Center. There we go. So once you've set that up on this end, you want to make a few changes. Now come into here, and here's where you, depending on what you're looking to do, if you want it to be pre-DSP, so you just want the signal to go straight into the preamp, the mic pre's, out with no EQ, no set, nothing, no effects, nothing, just straight in, and all it will do is it'll pick up just the gain. So whatever gain level you set, and that'll send it straight out to your through your USB. So say for example you're using it in a studio, and you don't necessarily want to live stream. If you just do pre DSP, what it will do is it will just send out the raw feed. Now, if you do have a drum kit that you're doing, be sure to gate the kit on the other end when you're receiving the signal. Otherwise, you're just going to get a whole bunch of noise. All the mics will be picking up everything. So make sure you do that. But if you're doing it for a stream and you don't want to send it pre-DSP, you want it to pick up on the gating, you want it to pick up on the compression, you want it to pick up on the EQ, and various other changes that you can make, adding effects, etc., including the gain levels. And the gain levels will be the ones that you have for 7 and 8, and not the gain levels for your main left and right. Then yeah, you wanna go post or pre-fader, sorry, which means you get everything except for the main fader, and then you get to control the fader levels from within aux 7 and 8, which are grouped together here. So yeah, you can have that done. And then over here, you have to untick. It's always good to untick use left and right mute, and also untick use left and right pan. Currently, what I'm doing for this stream is I'm not listening in from aux 7 or 8, though you can route it in such a way that you can listen to aux 7 and 8, so you can hear what's on the live stream. If you've got a a stereo monitor pack, which I do. I have some PreSonus, a couple of PreSonus stereo monitor packs. I could do that, or I could just send both, route both aux 7 and 8 under the outputs, So here, and what I could do is I could say I wanted to listen to what's going out to the live stream from something I'm going to plug into aux 5, for example. I can say XLR7. Where are you at? XLR7 and 8. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Apologies. Spin that back. So I would say XLR5 will go to both aux 7 and 8. Where are we at? So it'll go to sorry, XLR will go to 5. So if I plug something into XLR, what you call it? If I plug something into XLR 5 on here, and it's just a single mono channel, it's not a dual channel, then obviously I'm stuck. I can only hear one side, which is either 7 or 8. But if I've got a stereo body pack or a stereo output, I can send maybe 5 and 6 to 7 and 8. So 5 will go to 7 and 6 will go to 8. And then that way I can hear both the left and right out of my stereo body pack. And yeah, that's fine. Plug my headphones into that and I'll be able to hear what's going to the live stream. But for now, I just came here to show you that for illustration purposes. But for now, the changes you have to make is, first of all, do the USB change here. And that's going to send the full mix of anything that's in that mixer we've just seen for aux 7 and 8 through and out of USB 1 and 2. And when you're on this end, come through here, change this to pre-faders, so it picks up the DSP. So you can pick up all your gate settings, etc. Unless you're sending it to the first sort of laptop, which has your DAW in it, and you want to mix it there, and then send the out from there to another mixer where you're live streaming from. Then you can pick up both the mixed DAW, combine that with the video feed, and send that out. So you could do it that way if you wanted to. And then you can sort of mix it externally where you have more options in your DAW. Okay, so yeah, here's pre and post. So I've obviously sent it to pre because I wanted to pick up the DSP, all the EQ and everything else. And I'm going to make the mute and the pan independent for my aux 7 and 8. That way I can have full control over what I'm doing here without having to worry about any changes I'm making to the main, because right now at the minute I'm listening through the headphone jack, so I can hear what's happening. But in order for me to do that, what I've had to do, and I know this is a bit of a lazy route, but I've only just upgraded to 5.1.1 and I'm too lazy to do all the routing now, so I've just plugged my headphones into the headphone jack, and I have to actually physically turn up the volumes here as well in order for me to be able to hear. So if I set them exactly the same as I've set them on the other end, on the aux 7 and 8, then I can hear what's going out to the live stream, or that's what's going into the video. So I'm not listening to it in real time per se. I'm actually listening to a separate mix altogether, right? I hope you get that. But obviously the mix I'm listening to will carry across the EQ, because once you change the EQ in a channel, it doesn't matter how many places you're sending that mix for that channel, whether you're sending it to aux 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 and 8. Once you change the EQ, it changes the EQ setting everywhere. So you don't need to worry too much about that. It's more the and the gain is also the same, but it's more for the sort of volume faders. So that's the next step that you do. We've done that step there. Obviously, make sure that you turn up the master volume for that channel up, for the aux 7 and 8 up, and also turn up the volume for the individual channels that you want to send out, and create your own mix. And then the next step would be to, yeah, once you've created your own mix, I think you're pretty much done for Master Fader on Master Fader's side, because you've routed everything out to aux 7 and 8. So you've routed aux 7 and 8 out to USB 1 and 2, and then you've created your mix for however many instruments or items that you have connected, and you've done your mix here, or if you're doing it in a DAW on the computer, then that's fine. Then the next step would be, okay, going into your live stream. So remember I said I'm using the EQ and the various settings within Mackie's Master Fader within the actual DL32. I'm not mixing this in a separate DAW on another device. So this is just going to go out as I've set it up here. The next thing to do would be to go into OBS. And obviously within OBS, you know how to do it. You set up your scene, and then you set up your sources. So if you've got a camera, at the minute I'm using the display capture feature, which is what you're seeing there. So every time I'm switching between the screens, you can then see what's happening on my screen. As I said to you earlier on, I'm just recording. What you want to do for your settings now, for my settings on my laptop, I've set my laptop in such a way that if I hook up my DL32S to my laptop, the DL32S becomes the default sound card. Okay? So within the settings here, on here, which we'll go into now, audio, I've disabled everything else except for mic auxiliary audio device 2, and I've set that to default. It does give you the option to pick the DL32S, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So if you don't have your laptops configured the way I have my laptop configured, just pick the DL32S from here, and then you've just got the option to select it from there, and it'll give you, you know, what you want. But I've set mine up in this particular way, and that's fine. Once you've got your audio coming in, and you can see that audio, you've tested it, you can see it's coming through. You've pretty much configured your OBS to receive whatever's coming from Master Fader, from your Mackie DL32, or from your Mackie device, and you're good to go. So at this stage, if I wanted to set up a live stream, again, I could go into settings, and you can access settings from here. Let's cancel that. Or you can access settings from here as well under preferences. I think it's under preferences. Yeah, under preferences. Obviously, that's a longer way of doing things. Depending on how fast your device is, what sort of cameras you're using, obviously set up everything the way you want it. In terms of the stream, this is pretty straightforward. You pick which service you're streaming to. Pick the appropriate server. Most of the time with these, if it's YouTube or Facebook, they just go to default, and you don't need to mess around with top options. Then copy across your stream key. Now if you're streaming to YouTube, all you need to do is pick the stream key once for that specific channel, pop it in there, hit apply, and then you'll be able to stream to that channel over and over again. If you've got multiple YouTube channels, then what you'll need to do is when you're done streaming to one channel and you want to stream to the other one, you're going to have to get the stream key for that channel from YouTube. And then you bring it over here, just paste it in, hit apply, hit OK, and then you'll be able to stream to that platform. With Facebook, it's a little bit more of a pain in the sense that every single stream that you do, you require a brand new stream key. So if you make a mistake and you've already copied your stream key through and you end up canceling that stream and starting again, you'll have to go back into Facebook's options, pick another stream key, the brand new stream key that's appeared, and bring it and paste it here. So make sure you do it right the first time and you have everything set the way you want it the first time. That way, once you brought the stream key across, you've hit apply and hit OK. When you hit start streaming here, what will happen is on Facebook, it will then say, yeah, we're receiving, it'll indicate to you that it's receiving the feed from OBS. And then it'll basically say to you, would you like to start streaming now? So it's a two-part process on Facebook, where you first go into it and you say to it, you'd like to start streaming. It'll then ask you, well, do you want to stream from your normal camera on your phone, well, your laptop, and your normal mic on your laptop? Or how do you want to go about it? And you have to select that you want to stream from the stream key. Okay. When you do that, it'll then give you the options to pick the stream key. Take that stream key, paste it into the settings as we've just seen under stream. It's very straightforward. Stream, paste the stream key in, hit apply, which is there, hit OK. And what will happen is when you then hit start streaming here in OBS, if you go back to Facebook and wait a few seconds, Facebook will pick up the fact that OBS is trying to send a live stream through Facebook to your audience. So what will happen is Facebook will pick up on that, and it'll say, all right, okay. And then Facebook will ask you, look, do you want to go live now? When do you want to go live? So you'll have like a preview screen. You'll be able to see whatever you're currently capturing through your cameras or whatever it is you're streaming, your display screen on Facebook on the previews page. You'll be able to type in some stuff to sort of explain, titles, etc. And then when you're ready, just hit start streaming on Facebook, and you'll get the feed from OBS. And there's many different platforms you can stream to as well. There's Twitch, and I mean this I won't show you the list now because I don't want to go into it. But if you go into that stream option there, there we go here, and if you hit that button, there'll be like show me more underneath, and if you click on that, you will see how many platforms. There's loads of them. I think last time I checked, there was something like 30 different places where you can stream to. Obviously you can only do, as far as I know, one stream at a time, but there are sites out there like I think it's restream.io and StreamYard. There's a few which will allow you to for free, if I understand. They'll allow you to actually restream the same stream that you're doing to multiple platforms. I think with restream.io, everything is free except for Facebook, where you have to pay like $17 or something, American bucks. Obviously, I'm not in the States. I live in a different country. So whatever the conversion is for yourself, but you pay for that every month, if I remember correctly. And then it adds the Facebook option for you. But I think with StreamYard, which may not be as stable, it may have a few issues because it's quite limited. It's an online-based sort of source. You can use that to stream to multiple platforms. But again, within whatever program you're using, whether it's OBS or whatever, you'll have an option for your audio. And it's just a case within the audio of picking the DL32 as the source of the audio, and once you've done that, it will bring in everything that you've set up within Master Fader. If you've obviously gone with the pre-fader version, which brings in the DSP, it brings in the EQ, all of that will come through. So as you can see, that's EQ off, yeah, and there's the EQ on. So it brings all of that through the gate settings, any effects you have on the voice. Everything comes through for that channel, so you've got the option to do quite a bit there with Master Fader, and then that lets you stream to different platforms. That's pretty much OBS. Now, if you're looking for more in-depth tutorials on how to use OBS within your stream, what sort of options are in there, how to set up scenes, sources, these are your scenes, your sources, and how to operate OBS in general. Okay, transitions, etc. If that's what you're looking to do, there are some videos. There's an OBS series on this channel which you can follow. I think it's only 3 videos long, and it basically gives you all the hints and tips, specifically if you're streaming from your Mackie. Again, I'm using the DL32S, but there's the DL32R, the 16S, and a few others. But if you're streaming from your Mackie device, your digital mixer, there's a few hint tips in there in those videos, because obviously that's what I was using when I created the videos. So I do make mention of a few things that relate to Mackie. There's also a master fader series as well on this channel, which again, there's a particular video I dedicate specifically to live streaming, and it shows you how I've interfaced in depth. It shows you how I've interfaced the Mackie with OBS. So there's a lot more in depth information in those tutorials. I'll try and link them into this video here if I have enough time, and something will pop up somewhere just sort of saying, look, this is the video, or this is the series. So you can go through that. I think it was video 3 or 4 on the series, the Master Fader series, and it'll show you in more depth how to set your mix up. But this is just sort of an overview that just shows you how to just get started, and then sort of leave the rest to you to sort of dig into the stuff that you want. Everybody's different. Some people want more information on one thing, or some people want more information on different aspects. If you want me to do any further videos with regards to, you know, explaining anything else, or if you have any questions or anything, ask them in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to see if I can do a video to cover that. And more importantly, other people will be commenting below. So if they see your comment, they may have already done a video, and they'll just link you through to their video. And you'll be able to learn more about the specific thing that you want to learn about. But I tend to be quite flexible. So particularly now that we're home a lot with this COVID situation, I have enough time to do them. So likely I'll get one done within about 24 hours for you. But other than that, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy your days and enjoy your Mackies. All right, bye.